Good afternoon and welcome to Toronto Police Headquarters. This afternoon, I would like to introduce to you Inspector Joanna Bevan Desjardins of Sex Crimes. She will be updating the media and the public on an ongoing sexual assault investigation.
Good afternoon. I'm the Inspector, Unit Commander of Toronto Police Sex Crimes. Today, I would like to inform the public that a warrant in the first for sexual assault has been issued for Ty Matis Ventura Bezerra. Mr. Bezerra is 27 years of age and is a member of the Brazilian water polo team and participated in the 2015 Pan Am Games. It is alleged that on Thursday, July 16, 2015, the victim, a 22-year-old female, at her residence in the city of Toronto. Mr. Bezerra and another male were visiting the victim's home along with the victim's friend. The victim went to sleep. Mr. Bezerra then entered the victim's bedroom and sexually assaulted her. Both Mr. Bezerra and the other male friend then left the residence. Mr. Bezerra was in Canada during the period of July 3rd to July 16th. He was staying in the downtown area and competed in Markham for the Brazilian water polo team. If anyone has any information relating to this occurrence or the alleged suspect, Mr. Bezerra, please contact Toronto Police Sex Crimes at 416-808-7474 or Crime Stoppers. We encourage all affected individuals to come forward and report to police, as we want to make sure that everyone has access to the support services regardless of their decision to report and proceed criminally. Thank you.
Are you able to say where in the city this occurred?
I'll say it's in the downtown core.
Are you able to talk about any extradition issues with this Mr. Bezerra?
Well, we understand that Mr. Bezerra has returned to Brazil, and we are in discussions with the Crown at this point to start that process.
How does the victim know the suspect?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Did they just meet or did they know each other?
I'm not going to comment on that.
Have you spoken with the Brazilian Olympic Committee?
We have notified our integrated security unit, which is led by the OPP, and they notify all authorities from there.
Can you speak to the timing of this, when this happened, and did the complaint happen after he left the country?
I would say, you know what, I can't give you the exact time of when the complaint, it happened whereabouts the time that he was leaving the country,
But
correct?
did the complaint happen after he left, or, I mean...
We've conducted our investigations and identified who the person was after he left.
Are you under the impression that he skipped town because of the investigation or because it was done with the competition?
From what we see at this point, that's when the Brazilian team left.
Inspector, there any indication that you headed to Russia? The team has some games scheduled starting Monday for a championship with Russia. You know if he's going with them or any indication of that today?
I don't have any information relating to that. However, we've been in discussion or in the process of discussions with Brazil, and that will be something that they will have to discuss and figure out.
Can you walk me through it? Say he's not in Brazil. I mean, how it works. If he goes to other countries that have an extradition treaty with Canada, I guess they would be on the lookout as well. Can you sort of explain how that works?
Yes, so we've got an arrest warrant out for him now. We're in the process of getting a Canada-wide warrant, which means that it goes on the system. If he goes to Brazil, we don't have a treaty with at this time, but if he goes to another country that does have a treaty, he can be arrested.
Was the victim a volunteer in the games?
No.
Do you have
Can
any
you still
information?
get it if you don't have a treaty? How difficult is it to get it? My question is how difficult?
There's a process we can go through. He goes to another country. We will be notified on any type of travel that he takes. Goes to another country, they have a treaty, then we have to get a provisional warrant signed, go through that steps, and then once that process is completed, then we bring him back to Canada.
Do you have details of the kind of sexual harassment?
I'm not gonna, it's a sexual assault. I'm not gonna state what it was.
What about his acolyte? What about his friend that was with him? Is he suspect or has he been met? What about?
At this point, he's not a suspect.
When did he actually leave Canada?
He left Canada on the, I believe I said the 16th.
I'm sorry, when did that happen again?
It happened on the morning of the 16th.
On the morning of the 6th?
Correct.
Can you say whether the victim was a fellow athlete?
No,
You cannot say that, or she was?
she's not.
And she went to the police to tell what happened?
Correct.
Is the thing that went on, how out of the ordinary is that? Like to have an athlete like that and an international athlete coming to Toronto, big competition?
I can't comment on that.
There was a presser before involving Brazilian Olympic team. There was some kind of comment about whether the Brazilian team had some kind of tracking devices on them. There was an app that they had downloaded. I was just wondering if you could comment on whether they could use that as part of your investigation.
I have no information relating to that whatsoever.
Is that generally, understanding that we haven't really had big games like this in the recent history, but is that a concern that police look at when an event like Pan Am is coming in, where you've got several people coming in to the city from countries all over the world? Are sex assaults something that's on the radar during a big gathering like this?
Yes, it is. It's something that we track, as with any other offenses that occur during these time periods. And I can say through the games, there hasn't been a spike in any sexual assaults.
How difficult does it make it for your investigation, the fact that he's out of the country and there seems to be not much that you can do?
Well, we follow a process when we do investigations, and I have some of the best investigators in North America up there doing that. So regardless of where he is, we gather all the evidence that's required, at the same time working on bringing him back to face the charges. And the best case scenario is that he comes back to Toronto and faces the charges.
Regarding the other man that was with him, was he also from the Brazilian delegation, or is he a Canadian citizen? Or
Brazilian delegation.
Are you concerned there could be other victims?
There could be other victims. He spent 2 weeks in Toronto. There could be other victims. That's why his picture's out in the public. If anybody has come across him or had any experiences with him in this manner, or has any information relating to the sexual assault, please contact us. We'd like to speak with you.
Do you know if he has a record?
I'm not aware of that.
What about the events that led to the assault? Can you give us any? Were they out at a bar or a restaurant, at a Pan Am event? What happened leading up to the incident?
I can't give out that information. All I can say is that they were present with the victim, and the victim was sleeping when she was sexually assaulted.
Was she
He says that
hospitalized at
there's
all?
been a spike in sexual assaults this summer. Is that related to the games spike,
No,
or is that?
sorry, I said there hasn't been a spike
There
of sexual
hasn't been,
assaults
okay.
during Pan Am Games.
Has she been hospitalized?
I'm not going to comment on the victim.
Does Canada have extradition
Right, he
of...
might be in Brazil, because we have the information that he might be in Russia already.
Okay.
For the, but you don't, you,
I haven't received that information. It's something I would like to get off you after this press release.
yeah, no, we're trying to speak to the Brazilian Olympic Committee, yeah, no, to see. Because if he is in Russia, he can be extradited to here. Do you have agreement with Russia?
I don't know if we have a treaty with Russia. If there is a treaty with Russia, we can go through the process of getting a provisional warrant and getting him arrested and brought back to Canada.
And what kind of charges can he face in here?
Sexual assault.
Sexual assault, and this is prison for how many years?
It could be. That's up to the judicial system.
Was he dressed with the Brazilian
Uniform?
clothing?
I'm not aware of that.
How did his colleague or member of the Brazilian delegation have been cooperative in your investigation?
We're in the process now of trying to speak with them.
How did the victim recognize him?
I'm not going to get in the details of the victim and how they recognize, but they have been identified as Brazilian, the suspect as a Brazilian water polo player.
His colleague, you have spoken to his colleague. Right?
No, his colleague left the country at the same time. Right.
Was it another husband or was it a member of the, like, an official representative delegation?
The person that he was with,
Yeah.
we believe it was a member of the Brazilian water polo team.
But it's not confirmed that he raped her, right? Or is it?
He sexually assaulted her.
It equals, sorry, just because I'm not familiar, it's meaning rape.
It means he sexually assaulted her. I'm not going to get into the details of the crime.
Okay.
So it happened on the 16th. Why are we learning about it now? Did the victim come forward later?
Yes, the victim came forward at a later time. However, it takes time to get the details of the investigation and the evidence pulled together and the identification of the person that did it. So that is why.
How were you able to identify him?
I'm not going to go into that.
Are there any more questions? Can we have the spelling of his name, please?
Sure. Are we going to hand out a sheet for the spelling of his name? Right.
Okay.
The fact that you're having a press conference about this, is it the usual way to do it? Every time that there is a sexual assault in the city, there is a press conference with, about the subject, or is it?
Every time there's a sexual assault that occurs within our city, we issue a notification, a public notification, a news release, and then at some points we do stand-ups, correct?
Portuguese question? What's the actual role of you?
Well, it's to alert the media that this happened, and there is a potential of further victims with the time period that he's been in town.
Go through any kind of medical exam?
I can't speak about the victim.
Any suspicion that the neighboring drug was used or?
I have no evidence of that at this time.
Excuse me, sorry, a Portuguese question. Como eles identificaram que era do Brasil? Ele estava usando algum uniforme e mais do que isso, assim, foi comprovado o abuso?
Inspector, he's just asking, how did they identify him? Was he wearing a team uniform? That sort of thing.
I can't go through the details of that, I'm sorry.
Porque assim, pode ser alguém. Não estou. Assim, pode ser alguém parecido. As evidências, ele estava com credencial. Como é que sabem que é o cara do waterpolo, por exemplo? Como é que se chegou a esse nome?
So basically, he's asking again, how would you know that he is a member of the water polo team? What would lead us to believe that?
So evidence has brought us to that belief, and he's been positively identified as a member of the water polo team.
So nós fizemos uma investigação que causou-nos ver que essa pessoa é que é.
Uma dúvida. Foi, desculpa a dúvida, pode parecer besta até, mas foi abuso sexual ou estupro?
Desculpa.
Was it sexual assault or rape? I don't know the difference between.
In Canada, it's called sexual assault. We don't refer to the term rape, sexual assault.
Sorry, so we can put in Portuguese, abuso sexual, estupro.
Que eu saiba é abuso.
Ele invadiu a casa dela, como é que tipo, qual o aspecto? Ele falou que entrou no quarto.
Desculpa, podia falar mais alto?
Ele invadiu a casa dela, porque ele falou que entrou no quarto dela.
Foi uma invasão.
Casa, ou foi
He's asking if her home was invaded and how he gained access to it.
Her home was not invaded. He was in there with the victim and a friend.
So não foi invadido, estava lá com a mãe?
Prior to the incident, was there any connection between the victim and the assailant, the suspect that you know of? Did they know each other before the games began?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Ele pode responder. Esse crime.
I'm not going to comment on the evidence, sorry.
Esse crime aqui, quanto tempo, por exemplo, se ele for realmente extraditado e vier responder ao processo, esse crime no Canadá, quanto tempo ele pode ser preso?
He's asking just how much time, if convicted, would he be incarcerated?
Well, that's up to the courts to decide. They have minimum and maximum sentences, so I think the maximum for sexual assault is 15 years, depending on the severity. So.
And minimum, you know? Sorry.
I'm not going to comment on the minimum. It's up to the courts to decide the minimum.
A vítima voluntariamente aceitou o atleta dentro da casa dela e aí começou.
So he's asking if the victim voluntarily
I'm not going to comment on that.
You said already. Is that the Toronto Police or
Not with the suspect. We're in the process now of creating a communication strategy on this.
Can you say at all any information about how the victim is doing without being specific? I know, privacy is an issue, but I mean, is she okay?
Well, I can't speak on behalf of her, but it takes great courage and strength to come forward and report these types of things. This has been a personal violation that's now been made public and very high profile. So it's important for us to create a network of support around her and supply what we can to her, and that's what we're doing now.
Do we know what city, or town she's from?
No.
Licença, eu peço fazer mais uma pergunta em português.
We began the process of getting information, creating a communication between the countries.
Eu sei que a inspetora não tem entrado em detalhes sobre como a vítima reconheceu, como a vítima chegou ao nome do jogador e conseguiu fazer o reconhecimento, mas dentro do detalhe que ela não dá, se ela fez um exame ou não, para ter a certeza de que houve o caso, de que foi esse jogador, como vocês conseguem dar tanta certeza? A investigação de vocês foi tão completa para chegar no nome e apresentar a foto dele, entendeu?
So he's asking how is it that we came and we received such strong evidence and were able to identify the suspect?
I can't comment on that.
But you are sure because you are present the picture of the guy.
Yes.
You can say only yes. You
Yes.
have the 100%.
These are the allegations that are made, correct?
Okay.
In Brazil,
Is that his passport photo? Is it related to Pan Am Games?
That's the photo that's taken off the Pan Am Games website for water polo.
in Brazil, the charges that he's facing, would it be a crime?
I can't comment on Brazil's laws, but sexual assault's a crime in Canada.
I'm just wondering if the suspect knew he was committing a crime.
I'm not going to comment on that.
You have any information that the friend is Brazilian or not, another country? Or from another country?
I'm sorry?
Is the friend from Brazil? Is she Brazilian ancestry?
Oh, I have no information on that.
Thank you very much. That concludes today's conference. Oh, okay. Do you have a news?
Chris, we're going to post the news release. Chris, news release in 2 minutes. You get it up there.
I'll get it right now. Yeah, I'm just going to see if it's released right now. I'll get it.